Guys, hi. Did a live stream and suddenly our upload was throttled rather lowly down. I don't see anything conspiratorial in that, but our upload went really low. So just a quick YouTube to do a couple of the points that I tried to deliver through the live stream. We've taken it down in the end because the quality wasn't good enough. It was quite shocking. I did normally we have more than enough, and it just dipped really, really low. You can't live stream on sub 10 megabits, if you're getting 7s and 9s. Anyway, what was it? This man feminist here who works for royal, which usually means queenly things, and governor and state and all of this advisory, was posting out the front page of FT. Capitalism, time for a reset. Business must make profit, but should serve a purpose too. So now it's no longer about shareholder, it's going to be about agenda. Now, the government's role was to regulate against externalities, which is like a factory pumping terrible chemicals into a river, and so that people didn't do just for profit things. But the whole concept is that we don't have a true capitalism. We don't have true price discovery markets. We have a central banking cartel and lobbyist group that works in conjunction with mega corporates. It's quite ironic that we had Apple, Google, and Amazon and all of them talking about social conscience and corporatism, a similar message, all break out suddenly. And at the same time as saying it's about reset, and it's kind of like, oh, it's an environmental thing. It's not the fact that they've actually destroyed the entire economy with their expanding monetarist fiat-based system, and that it's unsustainable. We've called the reset since the early 80s. I was expecting it with Donnie Gordon, and we just continued to tighten. And now you're starting to see this particular article permission the others to start the great discussion of the system that follows. And they talk about the new agenda. Well, who's driving this agenda? Who runs this paper? Who are they to tell us what we should be doing? Well, they will, and they can, and they shall. And the IMF and the CFR and all the global corporates that are all working in conjunction, for which you are the cattle and they are the marks and the ranch hands, are all going to be leading this. You can expect capitalism with purpose now. This was the letter written on green. I tell you, your new world order, Bolshevik communism control monkeys that are coming for you are all dressed in green. It's the watermelon concept, green skin, red communism inside. Additional taxation, additional everything, forcing you to comply, forcing you to live in certain zones and to leave out and out nature zones. All of this larger agenda, which will see restrictions on your freedom, restrictions on your lifestyle, all because of corporatism that they've allowed to spew carbon in. My father was involved in electric vehicles in the 70s after the first OPEC crisis. If it had been allowed to be invested in further, and California and all of these Rockefeller oil states and petroleum allies such as Saudi, that always seems to get skipped over for regime change, despite beheading women and men alike and chopping up journalistic critics in foreign ambassadors. They all are supported the carbon burning and these big liners that cause so much CO2. So I'm all for not being unnecessarily harmful to our planet, and I love separating compost and plastics, etc. All good for not being ungracious and oafish. I don't drive a Hummer. I don't push big trucks. All of these things. But these same people, it's rules for you, not rules for them. Remember that. They will fly jets, Gulfs, G6, G7, G8s around the planet. They don't want that being hassled with. They'll geoengineer. They'll do all those things. So the new control over you wears green. So the green agenda is to be feared and pushed back against, not because you want to pollute the planet, not because you want to spoil it for your kids, because it's an open society, Soros funded, and all the other Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg, Bohemian Grove, Club of Rome, etc., 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 royal families, mainstream media like FT, all coming at you. What does he say in this letter? And since the global financial crisis, the model has come under strain. No, it isn't. It's not the global financial crisis. It's the fact that we're in a depression and we never escaped it, and the system is destroyed. You destroyed it with your central banking cartel. You should all be arrested for financial fraud, market manipulation, and put in jail. And all the mainstream media henchmen that helped you stay in power with your expanding, tertiary extracting, pedophilic tendencies in terms of how you run the world and the murder and mayhem you stir should actually be turned into the criminal class, put in prison. But that's probably not going to happen because you hold too much power and you've embedded that power through every mechanism, through academia, by creating the tokens of money and controlling the money supply. You care not who makes the laws. After all, you said it yourself, Mr. Rothschild. So therefore, you are a slave master. And that's how you this is how you conduct yourself, and this is how your new agenda through your owned paper and The Economist, which is 1988 is part of my crypto sniper imagery of the new world money. And now you're ready to start and permission all the other papers to talk about the Great Reset. And now they all will start about this new order that will be coming, so that we mentally start to get prepared for the whole notion. In the same way, the Tom Cruise movie, that title I don't recall, started to recognize the notion of pre-crime. And now Trump and AI, through the Israeli surveillance that is now taking place largely on all American citizens and many citizens over the world, are now going to start identifying all these white nationalist threats and shooters threats and all of these stories. Some of them true, maybe, some of them entirely manufactured. Who knows? But anyway, that's where they want to take us, and that's what's happening. And so now you will be filled with these buzzwords. Profit with a purpose, it says. Profit with a purpose, I ask you. Let me show you where they write such jargon. Profit with a purpose. Companies will come to understand that this combination serves them better. In other words, we are telling you what will serve you better, and you are to comply. So all corporations, all advertising, all PR from now on will now no longer be about the company in it making money, but all about this newfound purpose and conscience that they've all found, while they continue to operate in the same way they always have, that is subordinating the citizenry, the central banking cartel, inflated equity and property prices for the assets balance sheet rich to hollow out the middle, while adding taxation, and further taxation will come, and it will come in this color, these colors. It will be dressed in green. Your Bolshevism wears green. That is coming in this new agenda that you will find yourself facing. Free enterprise capitalism has shown remarkable capacity to reinvent itself, and now they are positioning it's time for that reinvention with the same robber baron, pedophilic traffickers, organ traffickers, child traffickers, sex traffickers in the same charge, running the same drug cartels from up on high, blackmailing policies. Where's Epstein's? Ghislaine Maxwell, by the way. Why is she not in jail? Why aren't we seeing her? Why isn't the head of Victoria Principal that does the lingerie and was doing this modeling that led to all these young girls being entrapped? Why is he not arrested? Why aren't we doing a Me Too movement against this vile corporate? Where's its capitalism with a purpose? Where's the Rothschild family and the Financial Times highlighting that actually you have a CEO who is a child kidnapper? Where's Angelina Jolie, which talked about women in wars being so horribly injured and killed and had nothing to do with it? Where's she about all these models that were hoovered up into the Epstein ring of influence and used as blackmail queens? Where's all the closure on that? In the light of this newfound moral conscience on corporates? Where is the LVM, the guy who was running all the other, supposedly his $1 billionaire client, that he was a hedge fund manager? Of course, he was just pumping Mossad money back in there, Talpiot program, all these things that come out of Israel, the most rewarded in aid from any nation from United States, is just being recycled back so that the blackmailers can run the political classes and can continue these vicious games that they do, and preying upon us, and children. And all of this will wear green when it comes to get you. Today, the world has reached that moment, said the editor Lionel Barber of this control structure paper. Free enterprise capitalism has shown a capacity to reinvent itself at times, as the historian politician Thomas Babington Macaulay wisely noted, it is necessary to reform in order to preserve. It's time you reform. We will be implicating and bringing down reform on your head. Reform is a very dangerous word for you. It's not a dangerous word for them. Trust me, they won't be doing much reforming. They will just be telling you how it needs to be from now on. You need to reform in order to preserve. And this is to preserve your green climate, your green planet, your green everything, while it'll be business as usual for the corporates while they just change the PR on their brochure. And you will pay higher taxes for all of these privileges that will come. This is the new agenda. Oh, well, that word new showing up, and agenda. So they are admitting to driving an agenda. And this is really, really a great concern for me in terms of everything that I see. This is a pivotal moment. The dark state is revealing itself. It's their rapists and child traffickers are not being arrested. All the associates are not being arrested. But in the meantime, all of this can continue. And they are telling you how reform is coming, reset is coming. So you hear the words reform and reset, and now you hear capitalism with a purpose. So it's no longer about profit. It's now, shareholder value. It's all about how, people of great principle. Most everyday businesses understand that you should have integrity. You should deliver what you seek to offer. People with integrity will survive. These are common understandings of good quality businesses. So now they are going to tell you how you're going to have this purposes and where those purposes should manifest. And I should imagine a lot of environmental BS and other forms of purposes such as transgenderism, friendliness, and non-binary, and talking about the 97 different genders we now have, and changing your language in all your PRs, speak for they and hey and may and who knows what else you're going to have to call various people that come out as non-binary, controlling your language. And in this case of Trudeau, who's an absolute little man girl and very much one of their little soldiers, and look up the family, by the way, and the lineage of the Trudeau family, who's now come out and apologized about browning his skin out for going to a fancy dress party where he went as an Arab. So as an Arabian, I've gone to many fancy dress parties. I didn't see Prince Harry went out in a Nazi uniform. If people go to fancy dress parties, they're going to do what they're going to get fancy dressed to look like the party. But he's come out and apologized for this crime. So this is how you have to behave. They're teaching you cause offense and you must apologize. This is control management over you and everything you say. You must be brought to submit. You must apologize. You have caused offense. Now, I want to see Trudeau beaten up and thrown out. He's an absolute control structure mini puppet, and a mini one at that, and a real man girl of such embarrassing standards. But the fact that he plays out and complies with this is all showing you how in the future you're going to need to behave. You must apologize for your guilt. You're born guilty. You must apologize for your whiteness. You must apologize for your brownness. You must apologize for your religion or your lack thereof. You must apologize for causing offense. You will be brought to heel. This is the way you are meant to behave now in a modern society. Control over your reactions. That's how they submit you. They control your language. They control how you express yourself, in what manner you will express yourself, any form of resistance, and you are an old school fuddy-duddy. And this is the new agenda brought to you by the paper that is written from the new agenda writers themselves, right at the top of that table. And this is really what I wanted to say. Sorry for the live stream failing apparently on that. Go read this letter. Follow at themarketsniper.com on the website to be able to register for our free mini-series, Buying Gold. It will not disappear. It will not lose value in a NERP environment. It will increase. Gold and silver. Will cryptos be a part of it? Yes, I think they will. That doesn't mean they're about to go up this very, very second, but it does mean that the reset is being acknowledged now at the highest form, and this paper is permissioning all the other papers to start that discussion about what comes next. And that means these are where they express opinions, and the people that write are all going to be controlling you so that you can see where the hell they're taking you. You don't have to go where they're taking you. Get your freedom from this control structure and agenda. These are agendas that are being input on you. It's not surprising to see one of the things that you are meant to wish for is more taxes. The creation of wealth, which provides more job, more money, and more taxes. There isn't more money in the world unless you halve the buying power of that money. You can double the amount of money in the world. But more taxes is not something I'm happy with. You spend your money on warmongering. In fact, that which goes on health and all of these things that have legitimate reasons is not very efficiently managed at all. Most of it is created by debt, and most of that debt is going towards war machines that are pushing agendas like this all over the planet. Okay, those are my thoughts. It's a key moment. They're breaking cover now. The mask is coming off, you know, kind of like Kevin Spacey's accuser, 2 of them now dead on the blackmailing thing. Isn't it interesting? And now, you know, the main guy, Epstein, has been spirited away. Not quite sure, in fact, what has happened. And they keep saying, now that he's dead, now that he's dead. But there's conspiracy somewhere. No, the more they're trying to get you to believe that he's absolutely dead. I didn't see the funeral. I'm sorry. I saw an oversized head that's in the background of cops with much smaller heads. I don't know what you've done. Who knows? But anyway, we'll probably never fully know. But where's as I said, where's the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell, Victoria Principles? There's a nasty covert blackmail system that is run, and you're being managed on it. And the morality of the people above you is disappointingly low, to the point of virtually satanic and cruel. Anyway, that's my take. The financial reset is on. How are you set? You really need to take stock. Do you have cash in a safe place that's out of the banking system if the ATMs go down? Do you have gold and silver physically on you, or in a place that you can reach that is not a vault, not an ETF? Do you have access to community farmers where you can make purchases of everyday necessities if you get supermarkets of a down? Where do you stand? Or are you in a heavily high-rise urban environment where there could be a lot of rioting and a lot of violence? Be careful of those that tend to show higher proliferation of violence. Are you in an environment where there's many of those kind of people? Could be low income, could be all sorts of profiles. Bear that in mind. Okay, I love you and leave you. Sorry for the dip in the upload speed that led to a bad live stream. Go and check the links below. And if you want to talk about how we're going to trade this and potentially build wealth, you can also book to have a chat with us and potentially become part of our community as we look at the key areas where things will go up and many things going down. So I'll catch you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Bye now.